Imagine meeting someone, just an everyday person, whose wisdom is so deep, it actually rivals, maybe even surpasses, the most learned teachers you know.
Yeah, not some academic hidden away, but someone, out in the world.
Exactly. Someone whose insights just cut right through all the noise, the complex debates. Startlingly clear.
It's a powerful idea. Someone embodying that deep understanding without the usual credentials.
Well, that's precisely who we're doing a deep dive into today. This extraordinary figure, Cittavaggo.
A wealthy lay follower back in ancient India. Really remarkable.
And our mission really is to pull out those surprising facts, those moments that make you go, aha, from his life, his encounters.
Yeah, to see how his sharp mind, and maybe more importantly, his direct spiritual experience.
How it lit up these fundamental Buddhist ideas, right? And how he often challenged the way people thought back then.
You'll find that deep understanding isn't just for monks or nuns, not confined to one path.
And that real wisdom, well, it pops up in the most unexpected places, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, so let's get into it. We start in this serene groves, Ambakavana, in a place called Cittasaṃyuttaṃ.
Right. Picture this group of elder monks there, deep in discussion.
And they're wrestling with this pretty nuanced point of doctrine.
Are fetters, that's saññojana in Pāli, are they the same thing as things that lead to fetters, saññojana?
Or are they actually distinct, different words, different meanings, or just synonyms?
It sounds subtle, but it's a really important distinction in Buddhist thought. They were genuinely stuck on it.
A proper philosophical tangle. And right into the middle of this walks Cittavaggo,
who's known and respected, even though he's a lay follower, a householder.
And they actually invite him, hey, Citta, what do you think about this?
And Citta's answer is so clear. He says, no, they are different.
But it's how he explains it that's brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. He uses this fantastic analogy. 2 oxen.
One black, one white.
Bound together, tied by a single rope.
Okay.
Now, he says, the oxen themselves, they aren't the fetter.
It's the rope, the thing binding them.
Exactly. The rope is the fetter. It's a simple visual image.
So how does he apply that to, us, our minds, our senses?
He maps it directly. Our 6 senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, they aren't the fetters.
Okay, not the senses.
And neither are the things we perceive: forms, sounds, smells, tastes, physical sensations, thoughts.
So what is the fetter then, in his analogy?
It's the lust and desire, the Cittavaggo, that craving that arises.
When the sense and the object interact.
Precisely. It arises dependent on that interaction, that desire, that clinging, that's the rope. That's what binds us.
Wow. So it's not the seeing, it's the wanting what you see. Not the hearing, but the craving for the sound.
You got it. And this simple explanation, using that relatable analogy,
it just unlocked the whole thing for the monks, didn't it?
Completely resolved their debate. They were deeply impressed, saying he truly grasped the Buddha's deep teaching.
That's a huge takeaway right there. It's about the reaction, the attachment, not the experience itself.
It really reframes how you think about desire and freedom. It's not about shutting down the senses, but understanding that reaction.
And this clarity wasn't just a one-time thing for Citta, was it? He kept engaging like this.
No, absolutely. There's another recurring scene at his home. He often invited monks for a meal.
Right. And after one of these meals, he poses another really deep question to an elder monk.
This time about the Buddha's teaching on the diversity of elements, the dhātunānatta.
And what happens?
The elder monk. Silence. Citta even asks again, 3 times. Still silent.
It really shows you the depth Citta was plumbing, right? Stumping an experienced elder.
Definitely. But then someone does speak up.
And it's Isidatta, the youngest monk there, the newest arrival.
Steps right up when the senior monk can't answer.
Yeah, what does Isidatta say? How does he explain this diversity of elements?
His explanation was spot on. He says it refers to the 18 elements that arise from our 6 sense bases. 18.
Okay, break that down.
So, for the eye, you have the eye element itself, the form element, what's seen, and the eye consciousness element. That's 3.
The organ, the object, the awareness.
Exactly. And you just repeat that pattern for the ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. 6 senses times 3 aspects equals 18 elements.
Why is understanding that so important?
Well, it helps break down this illusion we have of a solid, permanent self. It shows reality as this flow of interconnected processes dependent on conditions.
Got it. Deconstructing experience. But Citta doesn't stop there, does he?
No. On another visit, same setup monks hosted for a meal, he asks another challenging question.
This time about?
The root cause of all those philosophical views, the ditthi. the 62 views mentioned in the texts.
Like, is the world eternal? Is it finite? Is the soul the same as the body or different? Big questions.
Huge questions debated endlessly, and again, the elder monk, silent.
And Cittasaṃyuttaṃ.
Citta steps up again. He says all these views arise when self-view sakkaya dihi is present.
And they cease when it's absent. So wait, all these complicated philosophical arguments, debates about the nature of reality, they all just boil down to this one basic mistake, this clinging to a self.
That's the core insight. For someone untaught, Isiddhata explains, self-view is seeing your body, feelings, perceptions, mental patterns, consciousness as me or mine.
Or thinking there's a self inside them, or they are inside a self.
Right, all those variations. But for a noble disciple, someone who understands,
they don't see these things that way. They see them as impermanent conditioned processes, not self.
Exactly. It's a fundamental shift. Seeing aggregates, not a solid self.
Okay, but then the story gets weird, right, with Isiddhata.
It does. Citta actually recognizes Isiddhata.
Oh.
Says he's an old acquaintance from a place called Avanti.
He's impressed, obviously. Offers to support him, provide robes, food, medicine.
But here's the mystery. After both of these incredibly insightful answers,
Isiddhata just leaves.
immediately leaves Machikasanta. Never comes back.
Huh. What do you make of that?
It's intriguing, isn't it? Like he just appeared to deliver that specific teaching and then vanished, maybe suggesting a level of detachment.
Or maybe just someone incredibly focused on their own path. A fascinating little detail.
It certainly adds to the mystique.
So Citta encounters intellectual depth, but then there's something else entirely, isn't there, with Mahaka?
Ah, yes, Mahaka. This shifts gears quite dramatically. Another visit, Citta invites monks for a meal, this time at his cowherd's place.
And the setting is important here. It's hot. Oppressively hot.
The monks have eaten this rich meal, and now they're facing this uncomfortable walk back. You can imagine them struggling.
And Mahaka, who, like Isiddhata, is another newly ordained monk.
He sees their discomfort and just expresses a wish. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a cool wind, some clouds, a light drizzle?
Just voicing a wish, really?
And the elder monk says, yes, that would be good. So Mahaka.
He just does it. Uses psychic power.
Instantly. Manifests cool wind, clouds, a refreshing drizzle. Relieves everyone immediately.
Wow. Again, it's the youngest monk. Citta must have been floored.
The text says he was astonished. A feat of power like that from someone so new to the robes.
And Citta, being Citta, is curious. He later asked Mahaka for another demonstration.
Right. He asks Mahaka to show him some superhuman psychic power, Ihidapārya.
So what does Mahaka do?
He tells Citta, okay, put your outer robe and a bundle of grass on the porch.
Just leave him there?
Then Mahaka goes into his little hut, locks the door from the inside.
And then?
Fire shoots out, through the keyhole, through cracks in the wall.
Whoa.
But here's the truly amazing part. The fire burns the bundle of grass to ash.
Okay.
But Citta's robe, completely unharmed, not even singed.
That level of control. It's not just raw power, it's precision.
Incredible precision. It leaves Citta filled with awe and amazement.
And again, he offers Mahaka lifelong support.
But just like Isiddhata,
He leaves.
Mahaka immediately leaves Machikasanta, never to return.
This pattern, it really emphasizes that these displays weren't for show, were they? There was a deeper purpose, maybe,
Yeah.
and then detachment.
It seems that way. Their work was done and they moved on. It also shows Citta that attainment takes many forms, intellectual, yes, but also these extraordinary abilities.
Citta's mind wasn't just analytical, though. He could dive deep into poetic, symbolic teachings, too, couldn't he?
Oh, absolutely. There's this encounter with monk Mopu.
Kamapu quotes this really cryptic verse from the Buddha.
Yeah, it goes, the chariot turns, without axles, covered in white, with one pole. See it coming, unburdened, with the stream cut, unbound.
Sounds like a riddle. And Kamapu asks Citta to explain it.
Exactly. Okay, Citta, what does that mean?
And Citta just decodes it, piece by piece.
Masterfully. It's quite something. He breaks down every single symbol.
Okay, let's hear it. Without axles, Melago, what's that?
That represents moral conduct, sila, the foundation.
Covered in white, Cittapachado.
That signifies liberation, vimutti, purity.
With one pole, Ikaro.
That stands for mindfulness, sati, the central pillar.
And the chariot itself, Ratho.
That's the body, this physical form born from parents needing food, subject to decay, the vehicle we inhabit.
And it turns, Vitati.
That's just our everyday actions, going here and there, forward and back.
Okay, so the chariot is the mindful, liberated body moving through the world with moral conduct. Then what about the second half? Unburdened.
Aniga. That means being free from the real burdens, lust, hatred, and delusion. This describes an arahant, someone fully enlightened.
So coming, Anta. That's the arahant.
Yes, see the enlightened one coming?
With the stream cut, Cittasaṃyuttaṃ.
That means craving, tanha, has been cut off. Craving is the stream that carries us along.
And finally, unbound, abandana.
Free from all bonds. Again, those bonds of lust, hatred, and delusion.
Wow. He took that poetic image and basically laid out the entire path and the state of an arahant.
It's an incredible display of understanding, seeing the deep meaning behind the metaphor.
But he doesn't just stop at interpreting symbols. He gets into the real nuts and bolts of meditation too, right? With Kamabhu again.
Yes, he shifts from poetry to the mechanics of the mind. He asks about formations, sakar.
In relation to meditation states?
Right. Kamahu explains there are three kinds.
Okay, what are they?
Bodily formations, that's your breath, the in and out breathing. Verbal formations, that's initial and sustained thought, the inner chatter. And mental formations, perception and feeling.
And Citta asks why they're called that. He's always digging deeper.
Always. Kamapu explains it's because they shape or form our experience, dependent on the body, speech, or mind.
Then Citta asks about that really deep state, the cessation of perception and feeling. Saññāvedayitanirodha samapati. How does one even get into that?
Kamapu clarifies it's not something you decide to do while meditating, like, okay, now I'll stop feeling. It comes about through prior mental development, setting the intention beforehand.
So as a result of cultivation. And Citta wants to know the order things shut down.
Exactly. In that state, verbal formation thought ceases first. Then, bodily, the breath becomes incredibly subtle. Then, mental perception and feeling cease last.
And he asks the crucial question. How is this different from just being dead?
A very important distinction. Kamabhu says in cessation, the life principle, warmth, and sense faculties are still intact, just suspended. In death, they're gone.
Okay. And when emerging, does everything just switch back on?
There's an order to that, too. Mental formation arises first, then bodily, then verbal. Thinking comes back last.
It's like rebooting the system in sequence. And what helps someone achieve this state?
Kamabhu points to two key factors: calm, samatha, and insight, vipassana. They are essential supports.
So Citta isn't just satisfied with knowing that these states exist. He wants to understand how they work, the sequence, the necessary conditions.
It shows this really practical, investigative mind. He wants the full picture, theory, and practice.
Let's shift to another deep discussion. Citta is challenged by monk Godada this time.
Right. Godada puts a question to him about 4 different kinds of mind liberation.
The immeasurable, nothingness, emptiness, and signless liberations.
And Gada asks, are these really different things? Or are they just different names, different ways of talking about the same ultimate freedom?
Kind of like different flavors of ice cream or just different descriptions of cold.
Something like that. Are they distinct paths, or do they all converge completely?
And Citta with his usual clarity.
He actually explains it both ways. He shows how they are distinct in practice, but also how they are unified in essence.
Okay, so how are they distinct? What are the different practices?
Well, the immeasurable liberation, that's cultivating boundless loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, spreading those feelings everywhere.
Okay, that's about positive emotions.
Yeah.
What about nothingness?
That involves going beyond even the sphere of infinite consciousness in meditation, realizing there is nothing there to grasp onto, a very specific high attainment.
Emptiness.
That's about contemplating the emptiness of a self, or anything belonging to a self, often done in seclusion, reflecting deeply on saññojana.
And signless.
That means deliberately not paying attention to any mental sign, the features or characteristics by which we define things to achieve a state of deep, undistracted concentration.
So yeah, those practices sound quite different. Different focuses, different techniques. How on earth are they also the same in essence?
Citta brings it back to the root defilements: lust, hatred, and delusion. These, he says, are what create measures in the mind. They create something to cling to. They create the signs we get caught up in.
Okay. So the defilements are the source of the distinctions we perceive.
Exactly. And for an arahant, someone fully liberated, those defilements are completely destroyed, gone.
So the supreme liberation, the unshakable mind liberation, akupacetta vimutti,
Is empty of lust, hatred, and delusion. And because all four of those paths lead to the destruction of those same defilements.
They ultimately converge. They all lead to that same fundamental freedom from the things that cause suffering.
Precisely. He shows both the diversity of the path and the unity of the goal. A really sophisticated understanding.
It really is. He can hold both perspectives.
Now, prepare for some real drama. Citta goes head-to-head with a major figure.
This is the confrontation with Dhātunānatta.
The very same. He was a leader of the Jains, a prominent rival sect. Citta encounters him and his large group of followers.
And Dhātunānatta calls him out directly.
Challenges him on his faith in the Buddha's teaching. Specifically, the idea that you can reach meditative states where initial and sustained thought actually stops.
That second jhana state we talked about earlier.
Right. And Niganata doesn't just question it, he scoffs at it. Mocks the idea openly to his followers.
How does he put it?
Compares it to trying to trap the wind in a net, or trying to stop the flow of the Ganges River with your fist. Basically saying, that's impossible, ridiculous.
Very dismissive. Then he tries to trap Citta, doesn't he? Asks him which is higher, knowledge or faith.
Yeah, trying to paint Citta as just having blind faith. But Citta doesn't fall for it.
What does he say?
He says knowledge is higher than faith. And then he drops the bombshell.
This is where it gets personal.
Totally personal. He says effectively, look, I'm not just taking the Buddha's word for it. I know this because I myself have experienced it.
He tells Niganata he's attained all four jhanas.
Yes. Including that second jhana, the very state Niganata is mocking, where initial and sustained thought do cease.
That's not debating theory anymore, is it? That's presenting direct evidence.
It's unshakable. Citta says, because I know this and see this for myself, I don't need to rely on faith in any teacher Buddha, Jain, or anyone else about whether thought can cease. I know.
Wow. Talk about confidence based on experience. How does Niganata react to that?
He completely loses it. He turns to his own followers and denounces Citta. Says he's unstraightforward, crooked, and deceitful.
A complete 180. He just praised Citta moments before.
Exactly. And Citta immediately calls him out on the contradiction.
What does he say?
Basically points out, well, hang on. If your first statement about me was true, then the second one must be false. And if the second statement is true, your first one must have been false.
Gotcha. Trapped by his own inconsistency. Brilliant.
It's a sharp, logical takedown. And Citta doesn't stop there.
He poses 10 questions.
10 related, principled questions based on the discussion, drilling down on the implications. And Niganata
Silent.
can't answer.
Utterly unable to respond. He's defeated, and he and his followers just leave.
That is such a powerful story. Direct experience versus dogma, and the courage to stand up for what you know.
It really highlights Citta's strength, not just intellectual, but grounded in his own deep practice.
And that practice led to attainments that were, frankly, astonishing for a lay follower, especially when compared to others, like his friend Asalaka Kassapa.
Ah, yes. Another really poignant story. Citta meets Kassapa, an old friend he hadn't seen in years.
And Kassapa had taken a very different path.
A very extreme one. He'd been practicing as a naked ascetic for 30 years.
30 years of severe self-mortification. So Citta asks him, how's it going? What have you gained from all that?
And Kassapa's answer is just heartbreaking, really.
What does he say? He admits that despite 3 decades of this intense, harsh practice, he's achieved basically nothing. No special states, no deep, noble knowledge, nothing.
30 years.
Yeah.
For nothing. That's devastating.
It really puts things in perspective. And then Kassapa turns the question back on Citta.
Okay, Citta, you've been a lay follower for 30 years, living in white clothes, a householder. What have you attained?
And Citta's answer is the complete opposite.
He reveals his own achievements.
Calmly states that he can enter and dwell in all 4 jhanas whenever he wishes, effortlessly.
Those same deep states that require such refined practice.
And then he adds something even more profound. He says if he were to die right then, the Buddha himself would declare that Citta is a non-returner.
Meaning?
Meaning he's not bound by any fetter that would cause him to return to this world. He's broken the lower fetters on the verge of final liberation.
A layperson achieving that level of attainment. Kassapa must have been stunned.
Utterly astonished that someone living a relatively normal life, not engaging in extreme asceticism, could reach such heights. It completely changed his perspective.
What did he do?
He immediately asked Citta, please, help me ordain as a monk under the Buddha. He saw that Citta's path, the Buddha's path, was the effective one.
And did he? Ordain?
Yes, with Citta's help and support. And the story has a wonderful ending for Kassapa.
What happens?
Soon after ordaining, Kassapa practices diligently, alone and focused, and attains full enlightenment, becomes an arahant himself.
Wow. So Citta didn't just have wisdom, he directly helped guide someone else to liberation.
It's an incredible testament to the power of the Dhamma, the teaching itself. It works regardless of whether you're wearing robes or white clothes if you practice correctly. Insight, not just outward form.
Which brings us finally to Citta's own end. Even his death was instructive, wasn't it?
Deeply. The texts describe him as gravely ill, suffering a lot physically.
And as he's lying there, close to death, he gets some unusual visitors.
Yes, various deities appear, nature spirits, gods of the forests, trees, parks. They gather around him.
And what do they want?
They urge him, because of his immense virtue, to make an aspiration, a wish, to be reborn as a Kakavati.
A universal monarch, the most powerful, righteous ruler imaginable.
Exactly, the peak of worldly power and success. They believed his merit was so great he could easily attain it.
That's quite an offer, especially when you're suffering and facing death. The ultimate escape, perhaps. What does Citta say?
His response is just pure wisdom. He tells the deities, that too is impermanent, that too is unstable, that too must be abandoned and departed from.
Even universal kingship is subject to change, not the ultimate goal.
Wow.
Complete non-attachment even to the highest worldly state, right up to the very end.
His family and friends nearby heard him talking, didn't they? And thought he was delirious.
At first, yes, they thought he was just babbling because of the illness. But he corrects them.
Calmly explains, no, I was talking to the deities who were here. They offered me kingship, and I told them it was impermanent. Reinforcing that core teaching one last time.
And even then, he wasn't finished teaching, was he? He used his final moments
to give final instructions, crucial advice to his friends and relatives gathered there.
What did he tell them?
He advised them to cultivate unshakable faith in the Buddha, reminding them of his supreme qualities. Faith in the Dhamma, the teaching itself visible, timeless, well-proclaimed, and faith in the Sangha, the community of monks and nuns worthy of respect and support.
The three jewels. Bedrock advice.
Absolutely. And he added one more practical instruction. Any offerings the family makes, share them impartially with all virtuous ones, generosity without discrimination.
And after giving this final, precious guidance,
Citta passed away peacefully.
his end perfectly reflected his life, didn't it? Focused on truth, impermanence, generosity, and guiding others.
It's a beautiful culmination, wisdom bringing peace even in death, resisting the ultimate worldly temptation.
So looking back at this deep dive, Cittavaggo's journey is just extraordinary.
Truly, a lay householder navigating these incredibly complex debates.
Challenging spiritual heavyweights using his own direct experience.
Inspiring monks, demonstrating profound meditative states, interpreting deep symbolism.
And holding on to that core wisdom, that understanding of impermanence, right up to his very last breath.
His life is just this powerful proof, isn't it? That deep insight, real spiritual attainment, it's not exclusive, it's accessible.
Accessible to anyone, really, regardless of their job, their status, whether they wear robes or not.
And maybe the key thing is how he approached it. Citta didn't just absorb information passively.
No, he questioned, he investigated, he practiced, he experienced, he sought to know, not just believe.
Which leaves us with a question, doesn't it, for everyone listening?
What might you discover about your own mind, your own potential, if you approached life, knowledge, your own inner world?
Not just with curiosity, but with that same spirit Citta had. That courageous inquiry, that drive for direct personal understanding, what might you find?